Hey, what's up, everyone? Jalen here, and today we're going to go over how to make a lo-fi beat. Now, lo-fi is a genre of music that infuses a couple of different components and genres. What's notable about lo-fi music is that it mostly resembles kind of like a tech and house. However, there's a sound about it which makes it sound like it's, of course, as the name implies, lo-fi or low fidelity. And so the basis of lo-fi music is that it sounds like the music was made through like an 8 tape recorder, or through equipment that wasn't necessarily designed for music. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go over how to actually start making lo-fi beats. And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to load up Logic Pro X, and then you want to load up, of course, an empty screen. And we're going to start here from scratch. And I'm actually going to show you how to make a lo-fi beat using some of the loops, because that's one of my favorite ways to make lo-fi music. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to close our info screen here. We're going to go over to our loop browser button right here. And so I want Logic to know that I'm interested in making lo-fi music. And so what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is I'm going to click genre, and I'm going to click on chill wave. Chill wave to me mostly resembles the lo-fi style, and I'm going to go more in depth and show you how to actually work around some of the frequencies to make it sound more lo-fi-ish. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to find ourselves an instrument within the chill wave genre. So let's go ahead and find ourselves a synth. And I'm going to choose at random. Let's do chill melody synth and see how that sounds. So this sounds like a great candidate for a lo-fi. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is we're gonna take this and we're gonna drag it over here. And then as I dragged it over, you'll notice that with this loop, it says that the tempo of it is 100. And typically lo-fi is usually around the 100 to about 110 BPM. And as always, you can change your BPMs right here. So for this lo-fi genre, what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna take the tempo down to 100. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna start building on top of this. Now notice that the key of this is actually an E, and I did load it to our workspace here, which is nice. And so let's go ahead and turn on our loop recorder so we can start to build the track from scratch. And I only have it for about 4 bars. I'm gonna extend that to about 8 bars here so we have a little bit more room to work with. And then I'm actually gonna go to the end of this track right here. And when you see that semicircle pop up with the arrow, that means you can extend that loop. So I'm actually gonna extend this loop. That way you can go for 8 bars and it repeats itself twice. And let's hear how it sounds. So you'll notice that it sounds different from how it sounded here, and that's because the song is in C major. So what we can do is we could change this up if we wanted to, but for right now, we'll keep it in C major. Now what I want to do is I actually want to start adding in some drums so I can start to establish the feel of the song. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go to beats, and then we're going to sample through some of these. So I already like this analog clap beat because it closely resembles that lo-fi sound. So I'm actually going to take this analog clap beat too. And what I like to do when building a lo-fi song is I actually like to start off with our percussion. And percussion is a style of instrument. And when you think of percussion, think about hi-hats, think about drums, you can think about the marimba, and really anything that you can play drums on or you could use your hands with. And so we're actually going to do this analog clap beat number 2, and we're going to start our song off with that because I really want to start to build that anticipation for this lo-fi. And so I really want to start to extend that out. So I want it to go for about 4 bars here, because you'll notice that right here is the 5th bar. And then what I want to do is actually want to start the actual drum sound to come in right at that fifth bar. So what I did was I took analog clap beat number one, which has the kick drum in it, and I added that right here. And I'm also going to extend that. So here's how it sounds now that we've added it to that chill melody synth. You'll notice already that we're starting to build the foundation of the song just by one melody and two drum tracks. And so now what we want to do is consider adding maybe another melody or a bass. With lo-fi music, meaning low fidelity, a lot of the times you don't need to add a bunch of tracks. So we're just going to find a bass, and that's really going to be the basis of how we can build this lo-fi track. So now we're going to go over the bass, and we're just going to run through a couple here. And I already found one that says chill melody bass. There are two versions of it. So we're going to drop in the chill melody bass number one. And then we're going to go ahead and extend that out. And play that. So let's say if you wanted the song to continue playing more than 8 bars, what you would go ahead and do is just turn off the loop recorder right there. And what I like to do is I like to take the instruments that I want to continue playing. So I would definitely want the drums to continue playing. I definitely want the bass to continue playing as well. And then I want that chill melody synth to start playing. And so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to close this loop recorder now that we have the basis of our lo-fi beat. And now we want to give it that lo-fi sound, which means we're not really hearing a lot of those high pitched frequencies. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to open up my mixer right here. And I'm going to actually go over to our stereo out track, which is where all of the instruments are being siphoned to. So everything that's on the workspace right here, all of the sound is being siphoned to our stereo out. So what I want to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to click right here for our frequencies. And I'm going to click on our roll-off frequency right here. I'm going to hold, click, and drag this down. And just to show you what this does, I'm actually going to click this power button so then that way Logic knows to not allow this frequency creator to continue. I'm going to turn that off. We're going to go to the top. I'm going to close down this mixer, and then we're going to hit play. Now remember, we turn this down, but Logic knows that it's not on. So let's hear how it sounds. I'm going to turn it on now. Here's how it sounds. And now, a lot of the frequencies are going through, and we have the basis of a lo-fi beat, which is that low fidelity. So this is how you make a lo-fi beat from scratch. And again, I really love to go into this loop browser right here because it's one of the easier ways to start building your track from scratch. As always, you can always hit me up for any questions that you may have about creating any type of beats, especially lo-fi. Happy creating, and we'll see you here soon.